Imagine walking in a imagine walking in a place that feels strange and familiar, but at the same time completely wrong. The place where every wall looks the same, every hallway feels endless, and every turn makes you question whether you are still in reality or trapped inside something that was never meant for the human. Now imagine that this place is not just a location, it is a reflection of your own mind, and that's exactly why the back room is not just another horror movie. It's a psychological nightmare distinguished as a supernatural thriller. The scary part isn't the monster. The scary part is what loss the monster represents. And trust me, once you understand that, this movie becomes a far more disturbing than it first appears. Because what happens inside the back room isn't really about survival. It's about losing yourself. And this is where the movie starts becoming unforgettable. Backroom, directed by Ken Pearson, takes one of the internet's most famous horror concepts and turn it into something surprisingly emotional, deeply unsettling, and psychologically intense. At the first glance, it looks like a simple horror story. A strange doorway appear, people disappear, someone enters an impossible world to find the answer. Sound is straightforward, right? But the deeper you go into this film, the more you realize that nothing here exists just for scare. Every coordinate, every sound, every empty room, every shadow feels connected to something bigger, something darker, and that feeling stay with you long after the credits end. The story follow Clark, a man carrying emotional wound that seems heavier than he wants anyone to know. He is not introduced as a traditional hero. He is tired, disconnected, lost inside his own life. The movie slowly reveals that Clark isn't simply exploring a mysterious dimension. He is escaping something, maybe great, maybe loneliness, maybe her himself. And that detail changes everything. Because from the beginning, the backroom feels less like a physical location and more like an emotional trap. A place created more from unresolved pain, a place where people become stuck inside their own thought. And honestly, that what makes the movie so effectively. Most horror film wants you to fear death. Backroom wants you to fear isolation. There is a huge difference. Death is quick. Isolation slowly destroyed who you are, and the movie understands that perfectly. But what happens next changes everything. When Clark's disappearance becomes impossible to ignore, another character steps forward, Mary, and in the many ways she is the emotional heart of the entire story. Mary isn't just trying to find a missing person, she is trying to understand someone she couldn't save, and that's where the film becomes surprisingly human. Many of the horror movies focus on only on fear. Backroom focuses on emotional responsibility. The question becomes how far would you go for someone who is already losing themselves? And more importantly, can you save someone who doesn't want to be saved? That question quietly follow Mary throughout the entire film. Renates bring a calm but deeply emotional presence to the character. She never feels like a typical horror protagonist. She feels real. Her fear feels real. Her confusion feels real. Even her silence feels meaningful. Sometimes the movie doesn't need dialogue. A single expression tells you everything, and that's rare in the modern horror. As the Manny enters the back room, the movie begins revealing its true identity. This is where the story takes a dark turn. Most of the horror movie build tension using a jump scares. Backroom creates tension through space. You keep waiting for something to happen, but sometimes nothing happens, and somehow that's even scary. The endless yellow corridor becomes terrifying because of their emptiness. The silence becomes threatening, but stillness becomes aggressive. You begin feeling trapped alongside the character, and that's exactly what the director wants. The backroom aren't scary because they are filled with the monsters. They are scary because they are almost empty, and that emptiness forces the people to comfort themselves. And the movie repeatedly suggests that the greatest horror isn't what wait around the corner. It's what already exists inside your mind. One thing I absolutely loved is how the film refuses to explain everything. Modern audiences often expect answer. Backroom gives you questions instead, and surprisingly, that makes the experience stronger. The mystery becomes a part of the horror because real feels come from the uncertainty. When you understand everything, fear disappears. But when nothing makes complete sense, your imagination starts doing the work, and imagination is always more terrifying. But what happened next